live. Welcome to today's live session where we're going to be talking about the easiest way to make money on the internet or online. Internet, online, whatever. But yeah, we're going to be talking about that and some of the different
Yeah.
ideas and stuff like that. But before we go into anything like that, we are sponsored by the news guy. The link is below. That is that guy there, Randy. So do check out his link. He probably doesn't need any introduction, but if not, it's press releases. And if you need that done for yourself, depending on what package you want to go for, then the link is there. And make sure
There
you
you go.
don't aim from here. So there we go. But that's one way of making money online.
Yeah, there
Um,
we go.
is selling press releases. But how do we start this, Randy? I get asked this all the time by people like, what could I sell online? Like, what niche should I enter? And I'm like, it's you could literally sell fucking peanuts online. There's a demand for people buying peanut. It could be like a press release. It could be a fucking I don't know,
Yeah,
keyword research. You know,
yeah,
you don't have to do a full blown SEO. You can just become really good at keyword research, and you know there'll be
yeah,
someone out
yeah,
there who would quite happily pay you to go do it. But yeah, ways to make money on the internet. It's not. It doesn't even have to be SEO digital related. There is a plethora of different ways. So there will be people in the chat who can throw some of their ideas around as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So chuck them about
Yeah,
as well.
I thought this was kind of interesting. I always like these things, that kind of pop up, at the beginning of the year. People are looking like, "Hey, what can I do? What are some of the things we could do?" Blah, blah, blah. But, there are so many different ways you can make money on the internet. And this is why I always think, people are like, "Oh, I need money. I got to work or whatever." I'm like, dude, it is so easy to make money on the internet. There's so many different ways. You can, to your point, you could sell a good, find something, that you could go list on Amazon or list or do whatever off of your own site and drop ship it or just have a bunch of the shit and send out. I'm always fascinated. The one that I always love is the people that do like they go into these like secondhand stores and
Mhm.
buy, a pair of jeans for, $4 that they realize like, hey, these are pretty good. And then they go list them on eBay or wherever else for like 15 and then they ship them out and boom. Like,
Yeah,
man, there's a ton of people that make money doing that.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you knew what you were looking for in terms of, I don't know,
Right, right.
quality materials and stuff
Yeah,
like that, then absolutely. You know, I think these charity shops or second-hand shops or whatever you call them, they wouldn't know a good pair of jeans from a bad pair of jeans. Probably not. They're just
yeah,
probably going, "Oh, fuck, give us £4." So
yeah.
I think there'd be a lot of rough gems in that kind of market where people selling it just wouldn't realize the value of it. And if you
Yeah.
knew that, then that's the opportunity right there.
Yeah. I'm sure you've heard of Gary Vaynerchuk.
I've heard his name being pronounced
Yeah.
so many fucking different ways. Vaynerchuk.
Yeah. He used to do a bunch of videos. Like he would do these shorts where he would be like out garage sailing and looking for, stuff like that. And like, oh, this is a good, here's a coffee cup mug or whatever, blah, blah. I'm going to buy it for a quarter. And then he put it online and sell it for, $5 or whatever and ship it out. Yeah, he was doing all kinds of that stuff like that. But that's just one way, right? That you could go. Gary V there. Yeah, you can go and like go sell. You could sell services, SEO services online. And even if you don't even have anything, Chris Walker, this is how he got started years ago. He found some people and he was just arbitraging, right? Found some
Mhm.
services that somebody else could fulfill, and then he went and listed them himself, and he was making 3 4 $5 on top of whatever he was selling, and and it grew from there,
Why
all
not?
kinds of ways. dude,
Yeah.
you can do it.
Exactly. You've got to think outside the box. But
Yeah.
before we go too deep, I want to cover this very quickly, Randy. Alex is saying, is CTR manipulation going to stop working with Google blocking scrapers? I've seen that come up in the last few days.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously, blocking scrapers and blocking human beings, which is supposed to be how you're doing CTR manipulation, it's not the same thing.
Well,
A
that's
scraper.
what I was thinking, that it's not wasn't the same thing. Because while while I was kind of hanging out over the last several days, I was just reading some stuff, and I had saw that that Google was kind of blocking, but it was more, I thought, from my interpretation of it, more around the rank trackers
Yeah.
versus the CTR stuff. And so I was kind of like, and then I'd seen these questions like this in regards to CTR. I'm like, is it the same? Because I didn't read it that way, that it was the same. I thought it was like something completely different.
Yeah, they're different. If you're doing CTR manipulation, you're going to use something that mimics a computer or a mobile phone. You're going to be using mobile proxies. Google
Yeah,
couldn't block that because they're potentially
right.
blocking a human being. So I think CTR manipulation will be fine. But if you're doing CTR manipulation with a bot, potentially that could get caught up as seen as a scraper or whatever, or a robot or whatever. So certain tools, depending on their technology and everything they're doing, potentially could end up getting blocked. But as I say, I don't know the ins and outs of it. But if you're doing CTR manipulation, it's not always some dodgy bot. CTR manipulation for me is pushing traffic around as well, and
Right, right.
real traffic at that. So that is the thing, or the interpretation I would have from that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
shall see. We shall see.
Now, I have to tell you as well, I came back into the office here this morning, and I was looking at our servers and just being sure everything is up and running as they should be. One of which we have CTR booster running on. Um, and I don't know, it seems to be running fine. I'm having no issues with anything on there. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm getting a few
I'm
shout outs here, by the way, from
Yeah,
India. Uh,
India
Dev
missing you.
Kanita and JP Hendricks. What a lovely guy. Tell me India misses me. And Alan Hen, he's from South Africa. Not
Ah,
Indian, South African, but good to see you as well.
there we go.
Um,
How
but
about
yeah,
India? Do you miss India?
I
How
think
did
it
you
was.
like that?
I liked it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Liked the people, the atmosphere around
Good conference?
the whole thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very. It was a lot of fun. Well laid out. Nice. Yeah, I couldn't criticize anything about it other than there was a severe lack of sunshine. It was like warm, but there's a lot of pollution in India, so it was like cloudy
Uh,
because of the
yeah,
pollution. So I was kind of gutted at that.
so kind of smog. Ah,
So I was kind of yeah, smoggy, and I'm like, fuck. I was expecting to come here and like lay in the sun, so it wasn't quite like that. But the conference and all the people and everything was absolutely spot on. I can't say a single bad thing, not one bad thing. Fun,
mhm.
interesting. So, and obviously I had friends there as well. It's always good
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you go to a conference. You've got other people from the West and stuff there as well. So you had
Right,
Palmer and all
right.
that stuff as well. So yeah, it was a
Yeah,
lot of fun. But I missed
yeah,
the
yeah.
Taj Mahal.
You didn't
Okay,
go
this
to the Taj Mahal?
Randy. So there, I'm talking to people and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm flying in here and I'm flying out there," and I go home. No, actually, I fly to Dubai after India. Left India Sunday night, went to Dubai, chilled out there for a few days, and all of these people are away to the fucking Taj Mahal and traveling India, and I'm like, "What? Where was my invite?" And I'm like, what was this like? What's going on? Because I would have been up to Taj Mahal as well. But yeah, I didn't know they were all going in a little thing after it, and I'm like, but I'd have loved to have went and seen things, but I didn't want to do it on my
Oh,
own.
yeah, yeah,
So I went to Dubai. Not that I'm complaining. Dubai was nice as
yeah.
well.
You
But
got some sun in Dubai.
yeah, exactly, mate. And Goa
Yeah.
next year will be a whole other thing, I'm told. I
Now, what
believe
is
so.
that?
So they're going to do another event in India, the same guys, but they're going to do it in Goa, which is so.
Ah,
To give you an idea, the place we were is a city, lots of pollution. Apparently, Goa is out near the sea and all that kind of stuff. And they're going to do it bigger and better as well. So I think there was maybe, I don't know, 300-400 people there at that one. But the demand for tickets was a hell of a lot more than that. But you know
wow.
what it's like when you're organising a conference, you don't know
Yeah,
whether
yeah.
to go too big. So yeah, next year's going to be bigger and better again. So
Wow. Nice.
so when is South Africa on the list? I don't know, mate. I've never heard of an event in South Africa. In all honesty, I'd love to come. Never been, but yeah, they don't have a lot of that in that neck of the woods. So there we go.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
But
Yeah. Are
yeah,
you going to anything while we're just talking about conferences? I've got like in 2 weeks, I'm going to Affiliate Summit West in Las Vegas.
hmm
I'll be there I think our Dan Kurtz is going to be there as well. So
yeah, I've
yeah,
never been to that one. I've never been,
yeah,
but I think it's a good big old one. Like it's been around for a while. So
yeah. Affiliate Summit. They do one on the West Coast in the U.S. and one on the East Coast later I think the Affiliate Summit East is going to be in August. So,
yeah, but nah,
but
I'm not going to make that one. But I am in the US in May, 1st of May,
I know,
the
right?
4th.
Yeah,
So, yeah, but that's another way you can make money online. Do a fucking conference. You know, if you're good at organisation and stuff, and like
yeah,
Alan says there's nothing going on in South Africa.
right.
Would you be able to pull something together and
Mm,
potentially make money from it?
mm.
Is another way you can make money on the internet. Utilize other people's knowledge and expertise, pull the conference together, and make some cold hard cash. A bit risky, but
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah, you've done that.
Oh yeah, and I lost money. Yeah, and I'm supposed to know what I'm fucking doing. Um, so, uh, but like we were saying, you can do these things, and sometimes you go big thinking it's going to get a lot more, or you could do it small and you're going fuck. We could have sold 10 times more tickets. And that's the dilemma there. And you never get it right, do you? So,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Now,
yeah.
are you guys considering doing Digital Unfiltered again? Because I know
Uh,
you've bantered it about, but
yeah. No, I think nothing's officially agreed, but we were looking to do it at some point this year.
this year
Absolutely.
in
Yeah.
25.
Yeah. So I'd love to do it again. Just not in the most expensive hotel in Vegas, and all that stuff. So we would learn from the last time, and it's not a money making exercise for us. It was more just do it and have some fun and go to Vegas and chill out with some
Right,
people
right.
and all that. So we'll see. But Alan saying me and Kira can kill it. Maybe Kira wants to do more, so she'd be up for it. Um,
Yeah.
but Dev is saying, do conferences bring you sales, or is it purely for personal branding? Both, Dev. I don't have that much to sell though. That's the biggest thing. So personal branding and all that kind of stuff. But when you build up a following, you actually get paid for a lot of the speaking stuff as well. So, it's different. Certain speakers don't, and they're doing it to sell. I don't have that much to sell. So yeah, there's a mixture of different stuff in there, but obviously I've got sponsors and stuff as well, and you can promote their stuff, and sometimes that's part of some agreement or whatever as well. So there's a whole load of stuff that goes on in the background, but it's obviously got to be worth your while. I don't do it just for the sheer hell of it. It's got to make money somehow, somewhere. How you make that money is different. A lot of people also say, oh, on YouTube, how do you make money? Blah 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 blah. You're going to get paid a pittance, from the kind of ad revenue. Of course you are, but there's other ways to get money from YouTube videos through sponsorship, brand deals, blah 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 blah. So again, there's a lot of other little things in there where you can make that conference pay off for you as well. So yeah, but as I say, I've made sales at conferences in the past. Obviously, built my personal brand doing a lot of conferences as well. So it's whatever you want and whatever you sell and stuff. Like Randy, if he was going to a conference, he's doing it to make sales and build his personal brand. So it's certainly a great way to do both there. And the man himself said he would consider going to an SA conference. So yeah, it's just a place I've never been in, and I'd love to see South Africa. So yeah, someone organize it, Alan.
Alan, you're there, man. Jump on it. Yeah.
But yeah,
what do you think the cut rate cost? I mean, it's all dependent upon kind of location as well, I suppose. But I'm just trying to think. Like in the US, it would be hard to do a conference. I mean, just a room and all of the AV and all of that stuff is going to cost you, a couple of $1,000 a day, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
At minimum.
Minimum. I would imagine probably a couple of $1,000 a day, but you can negotiate with these people based on the rooms that are getting sold in the hotel. So, when we were doing the negotiations for Digital Unfiltered, we were able to negotiate different rates depending on how many people took rooms in the hotel as well. And certainly in smaller events as well, some people will give you the room for free based on them keeping all of the bar money and stuff. So there's a lot of room for negotiation where, if I ran a hotel and someone said to me, Craig, we've got 200 people here Wednesday, Thursday or whatever, give us a room for $1,000, and you can fucking have all the beer money and all the room money and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely. I give you the fucking room for free if you're going to book out 100 rooms here and all that stuff. So I think there is a lot of room for negotiation as long as they're getting their money somehow. And you know what it's like, people will go to the bar and there's a lot of money to be made there rather than trying to take $1,000 off you for a room or two or whatever. So you can negotiate, and I've done that in the past at certain smaller events. I used to do some local meetups and stuff, and they would just give us the pub for free, but they kept all of the booze money. But we also got a sponsor to give everyone a free drink as well to lure people in as well. So that was always Sam Rush at that point. So everyone won. We got a free drink. We had free venue. We got to hang out and have a laugh. And the pub made a lot of money as well. So it was win-win.
Yeah. And I think you could always do these, and just in thinking about it, we'll keep it in the vein of making money online, right? But you could do these things, even as a little small conference even, right? Where you could do just a 1 day. Who is it? Steve Toth does that. He does a one, and his is
IRL.
IRL, IRL or something like that. And it's just like a one evening, actually. It's like from 6 until 9 or something like that he does. And he only charges $10, for a ticket, but it's like a big meetup. And he gets, there was like over 100 people at the last one that he had.
Well, that's the thing, though, Randy. He had people flying from different parts of the world to that. But
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
flip
He had
side of that,
sponsors and everything on that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what I would also say is if you're flying from there, and this is the man here actually, V Man, as I call him. V Man flew.
Is
He
that the
sponsored
V-Man? Like the V-Man?
the V Man. Yeah, you met him in Nashville.
The
Rank what?
V-Man. Yeah, I met him in, Nashville, I think,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Nashville.
Yeah,
Oh, he's a great guy. So V Man
yeah.
from Rank Watch, he sponsored the SEO IRL. So he went for. I couldn't believe it. I was WhatsApping him, and he's like, and we just finished in the Philippines. I think it was the Philippines. And he was going home, and then the next day, I was like, "What you up to?" or whatever. And he's like, "I'm flying to fucking Canada." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I sponsored Steve's event." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding?" But he flew over for that night event as well. So it's whatever that
Yeah,
one event, he's able to get people over and stuff as
yeah,
well. But I would be kind of gutted if I'd travelled that far for one night. Like I always feel like events the 2 days, even the 2 days in India,
mm,
which the V Man's also involved in that. It wasn't enough. I would have rather a third day as well. I just felt it came
yeah,
and gone
yeah,
too quick, and um, you're gutted when you're leaving. You're going, fuck,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
really good. And I was actually going to the airport halfway through their end of evening party, just the way the flights worked. And honest to God, I was like, fuck me. This is
Oh, yeah,
shit.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
Well, I
so
tell you, that's why what I'm gonna go to, Chiang Mai in November, but I'm gonna go for, like, 2 weeks. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna be I'm going to the Philippines like a week before, and then going over to Chiang Mai and hang out and do some of the pre-conference meetups and such. Yeah, so I think, if I'm traveling that far, I mean, it's a
make the
full
most of it.
day I mean, like 20 hours or something like that for me to get there. I'm gonna
Dude,
be there for a little bit.
I think Chris Walker was 40 hours by the time he had all his
God, oh
fucking
man.
stopovers and stuff from where he is, which I think he's in the east coast of America.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Um,
Chris and I are in the same time zone. Yeah.
so I mean, it's not like he's in Vegas or something. He's on the. But yeah, um, but Alan's saying, what do the tickets go for in these first world countries? So in America, I've seen them from 2 grand to 5 grand, depending
Mhm.
on what you want. Some of them have
Yeah,
VIP days and you go out
right,
on boats and fucking jet skis or whatever. They've got added extras, which
right,
obviously
right.
cost money. So, between 2 and 5, but it depends. It really
Yeah,
depends. There are ones we done ours in Vegas. I think we were maybe 500 or 600 bucks a ticket. We wanted to try and get volume rather than
yeah,
whatever. So it varies wildly, man. It does, and it
yeah,
depends
yeah,
as well. If you want to give up some free booze to the people, of course they're paying for it in their tickets. So
right, right, right.
the more you pay, the more you should get.
Yeah.
So
I think like the affiliate summit that I'm going to, I think their entry level basic ticket, I think you could get for like $600 or $700, something
mhm,
like that. Um, uh, like if you get on it right away, and then sometimes, they'll kick the price up as it gets closer to the event. But, an alternative as well is to do something online. Lisa Pizzella, I can never pronounce her last name
yeah.
accurately, is doing an online event. Um,
Mhm.
I think it might even be this week, actually. I can't remember. Um,
I am not a fan. I am not a fan of the online ones. I think
yeah,
you've got to go for the whole experience. I feel being in person, sitting, you know, I'm not
yeah,
taking anything away from what Lisa does, absolutely not. But for me personally, I don't feel the same about an online one. I think it's all about the travel, the sitting
yeah,
with the people, going out for dinner. Like when I went there to India, V Man. and stuff were waiting at the hotel lobby, and I dumped my bags, and then we went out to a place, and they had food, and we were just sitting having a chat and all that, and yeah, it was all of these wee things make the whole thing happen.
Yeah, I agree. And nothing against Lisa, and she's doing a great job with but I agree. For me, going to a conference is as much about, well, it's all about almost the networking and the ability to be, and connect with people and stuff. And so being online is like, you just don't have the same aspect. Great if you're going and wanting to learn, I think. I mean, I think you can still, get the value from a learning aspect of it. But yeah, what is this conference in?
Phuket,
Fuck it.
right before Chiang Mai. So
Oh, how do you pronounce that? That's not fuck it.
Phuket. You call it what you like, but I would have normally said that, but I know a few people that went there calling it Phuket. But yeah, they're doing one there right before Chiang Mai as well. So again, could be one that you could potentially pop
Where
into.
is that?
It's in Thailand.
Oh, it is in Thailand.
Yeah,
Well, who the heck would go to that before you'd go to Thailand, before you go to Chiang Mai?
you'd be very, very surprised. A lot of people go to Phuket before they go to Chiang Mai, just for holidays. But if there's
Oh, really?
V-Man,
Wow.
what is the name of the Phuket conference? I've I was told not to say anything about this conference. I was warned not to say anything. Now he's thrown it out there, so I don't want to say the name. V-Man, what's the name? He's involved in
What
it
do you
anyway.
mean that you weren't supposed to talk about it? What is?
But it's just been formalised, and
Oh,
I was told, like, don't mention this event just yet, and stuff. So yeah, and V-Man's just come in and let the cat out the bag. So, but yeah, let us know the name again, V-Man, because I can't remember. But Phuket is the party place. But
Phuket.
more
Oh,
details will follow. I don't even know if the website's up yet or whatever. And
nice.
Rolo, yes, I will be in Saigon this year, maybe in about 5 or 6 weeks. So, first time in
Is that
Saigon,
is
Mads.
that Mad's conference?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. So yeah, Saigon, I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun. Never
Very
been,
nice.
but I think Mads is known for putting on a good event and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
seen the photos and stuff, and I will be in Saigon. Then I'm going straight to Australia straight after it. So
What are you doing
busy.
in Australia?
There's another event a week after Mads's. Dude, I don't know why I get dragged around all over the fucking place, and you're just like, fucking hell. So I was supposed to only be going to Australia, and Mads must have seen it and went, dude, do you want to stop off in Saigon and come here as well? And I'm like, I might as well make it one big trip rather than
Man,
doing it that way. So I can tick Saigon off the box as well. Plus, it breaks up my
rack,
trip.
yeah, racking up those frequent flyer miles. You'll be.
Dude, I was that much under from an upgrade just on the India trip, so I should have enough points to get something next time I'm out. So
What do you fly? What do you like to fly? Like what airline?
it depends where I'm going, really. Emirates takes me from the UK to Dubai, but when I was going to India, the only flight that would go to the city in India was something called India Go, and that is like the lowest budget airline you could ever go on. It's like our version of Ryanair or EasyJet or whatever.
Right.
It's like there's no quality there. You're lucky if you get an old sandwich on there and a glass of water. So Emirates is normally the one I would travel on. But going to America and stuff, we don't really have much choice. We have to take what we get, Lufthansa and stuff like that from Europe over to America. So you've just got to suck it up and take what's available, unfortunately. we don't have the certain operators going to everywhere in the world, and there's not enough demand for it. So we've got to suck it up and jump on whatever's going, which is
Look at you. I just pulled up the 24 ADP, and there you are. You're even on the front page speaking.
24. I didn't even know 24adp.com. 24.
Yeah, you, Kyle Rove, there's Kira, Steve Kana,
So
Lassa Milano, Jirashi.
Oh,
Nice.
Paul DeMott, that's a new name.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be decent, mate.
Yeah, so that's a good ticket, $400 for a VIP.
See, this is the thing. These events out here and these so I think Alan asked earlier, how much is one in the kind of
Right.
first world countries? And they're relatively expensive, but these ones are a hell of a lot cheaper. But the experience is not any less. You're still in a lovely hotel, nice, outdoor party and all that. Like it's not like it's in some Buckshee yard or something like that, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
out there. The hotel in India was absolutely stunning, and the party was out in a big bit of grass out the back, and there was a machine to dance on, and all lit up and all that. It was amazing. So I'm hoping for more of the same at 24adp.com. So
Yeah.
check that out. But
Well, I have
yeah,
to look because that's the Chiang Mai is now they moved it a week forward. So now it's Chiang Mai is November 10th. So this would be like 2 weeks before Chiang Mai.
But yeah, I think the thing is, Randy, as well. You say things like, who would go
Helium.
there and not Chiang Mai? Chiang Mai might not be for everyone. Chiang Mai
Right, I know.
sets out. Chiang Mai people can't get a ticket as well. So there's so many other things where different people might go to the Phuket one and stuff like that as well. So yeah, but Dev's saying, ADP had one conference in 2015 as well. So yeah, it's good times ahead in terms of seeing different places. But yeah, back to the topic of making money in the internet. We've been way off topic.
I know we got it. All right, so we're making we're selling services, we're doing arbitrage, we're selling goods, right? If you were
Yeah.
going to get something and you were going to sell it like a product, right? So like a spoon or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I just had a double espresso, so I got my little espresso cup here, right? What would you sell if you were going to find one thing and like, how I'm going to sell the hell out of this one product?
I've never thought. I mean, obviously, I've got websites that sell products, but if you're asking me straight off the bat right now, there's a few things that I wouldn't sell. Like the cost of the item would need to be more than £100. Let's just say that. Selling cheaper items, it's not always best to do it that way. So I think a higher ticket item is more worthwhile, because I've sold golf equipment and all that kind of stuff, and the average sale was $20, but it cost me the same amount of time and effort to rank something for that's going to sell for $20 as it would for 200 or $2,000. So there's just certain things there. Obviously, you don't want to go out there and sell blindly, I don't know, sex toys. It's going to be super competitive. Everyone else has done it for years and years and years. So I think the goal is to find something that something that you're knowledgeable about or have some kind of interest in, but also just something that's not just like everything everyone else sells. If people
Right.
want to make money online and they don't do too much, you've got to find an angle in, and find a product that, one, that it's got a decent profit margin on it, but two, that's in high demand. And these are the kind of things I'd be looking for. But Randy, I've come across people and they've sold weird and wonderful things, but I had a friend who sold hunting scopes. So just the scopes that go on top of a hunting gun, and that's all he
Right,
sold.
right.
And I'm like, why? And he's like, dude, have you checked the price of them? I'm like, no, it's not,
I was
I'm not
gonna
in
say
it to
they're
hunt it.
expensive.
They're
Yeah.
expensive as fuck, but there's a huge demand. All these hunting guys are right into it. The same
Yeah.
way, the same guy had a website that sold diesel generators. And I'm like, again, why fucking diesel generators? He's like, Craig, look at the fucking search and look at the price. And I'm like, fuck. We're all shitting around selling golf clothes and women's clothes and, whatever. And it's all fairly competitive stuff. Whereas these people are doing the diesel generators, there's not a lot of competition. So you're making more money and less competition. And that, for me, is the
Yeah.
way I would look at what would I sell? What is the easiest thing for me to rank that makes the most money? And I don't care whether it's, I don't know, it doesn't matter what it is to me. It could be anything. I don't care.
Right, right.
As long as there's demand for it and it's not hurting anyone and it's morally okay to sell it, then I'm happy.
And I remember years ago, and you and I'm sure it was all about affiliate marketing or something. You had a video out talking about how to, this very subject. And I remember a sentence out of there, a statement you made, and that I thought was just encapsulated, was like, hell yeah, like, man is so right, which is, if I take a product that sells for $500, I'm going to do all of the build this site. I'm going to put all this effort into it, and I'm going to make my money. If I have a site that I'm selling $10 products for, I'm still doing all of that same damn work. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
whether it's $10 or 500. So if I'm only going to, if I'm putting the same amount of work in, then I want to be sure that I'm going to get paid for it. Right. And
yeah,
so that was to your point about, yeah, sell a product that you can, it's got to be at least $100 or more,
yeah,
because you're doing the work, you're doing the effort. You'll put in the same amount. And I think this was your line. You're going to put in the same amount of effort, whether the product is $500 or $10. So might as well pick the one that you're going to make the money off of.
yeah. That's it's so simple, but you look at so many people who have maybe failed or had issues with affiliate marketing like me. I jumped
Yeah.
blindly into them. I wasn't even considering the profit margins or the stuff. You're just enthusiastic and you jump into anything and then start thinking about it and you're like, oh
Yeah.
shit. And that's why I also spoke about seasonality. The golf website I had, it sold really well for 6 months of a year, but the other 6 months was dead. So again, I'm doing all this work and I'm only making money for 6 months of the year because of the kind of niche that it's in. So don't go for something that's seasonal,
Right.
unless,
Right.
of course, you're selling Christmas trees and the month of December you make $5 million. Absolutely go for something seasonal. But
Yeah. Yeah.
out with that, I think you've got to think of seasonality and stuff like that as well, and even legalities. I think again on the same video or the same conference, I told stories where I jumped into the e-cigarette niche and I didn't realize the legal implications of selling nicotine. You couldn't do Google ads, you couldn't do
Right.
Facebook
Right.
ads.
Right.
There was legal implications, but again, I blindly jumped in based on search volume, and that was not the right thing to be doing. And those businesses are no longer here because you're just like, I can't build this like a real business. So
Yeah.
you literally can't sell anything, but you need to think wisely. Is this legal? Is there any red tape? What's the returns like on it? Because again, women's clothing I tried to sell, and the returns on it was insane, which basically was wiping out any profit I was making. All of these mistakes are things that I've done, and they're good stories to tell. But I
Yeah.
spent a lot of time and a lot of money, building websites out and building content out and everything else. And that's why I tell these stories, because if I can help you just think better to make a better choice, picking your way of making money, then so be it. Happy days if you can learn from my mistakes. So that's why I throw a lot of those stories out there, just to try and say to people, don't fucking follow me. Do it better than me, because yeah, I've suffered a lot of that pain. So,
Yeah.
and to that point as well, I've had conversations with Holly and various others. What's the weirdest thing you've sold? Hemorrhoid cream she was selling. I don't know if that's her thing or somehow she got into it, but she went for it, and there's so many people selling so much stuff, and it can be so far
Uh-huh.
removed from what you think you might be able to sell. It's insane. Like, I go to any conference, Randy, and I always come away with going, fuck me, I never thought of that. There'll be some guy doing something that you've just never thought of. Always, or they're in a niche that you go, there's no way that guy's really doing that. That's got to be a wind up. And for me, it's mind blowing the opportunities that are out there to make money online. And there's kids and everything out there making money. Kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
hustling online and buying stuff for $5 and selling it for $12 or whatever. It's insane. So
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
money online is endless.
Endless. Another way, well, something I used to, well, I've lost a ton of money on some of these affiliate sites. But I 18 months ago, I dropped into kind of what I would say would be a much easier way, which was selling leads. So we targeted small markets, like little towns or areas, DMAs that were 100,000 or less, and build out some kind of services, like local services, home services business, whether electrician, plumbing, roofing, whatever, right? But something maybe a little less competitive, um, and build out a site for less than all in, like including links and stuff to get it ranking. Um, maybe $300.
Yeah.
Build out a simple site for lead gen, just to get leads, and then I just sell those leads directly. They come in, they make a call, boom, it goes off to a different aggregator, and they just pay me 50 to $100 a lead. We set up a bunch of these things. I don't even think about these sites, but can make several. Each one of those sites makes anywhere from 200 to $500 a month.
Yeah. Nah, lead gen's amazing. Victoria in the mastermind does lead gen. And
I know.
I've seen her go from zero to building up an asset, and you're like, fuck, that but it takes time, effort, patience,
Yeah.
and things like that. And that is something that a lot of people don't have, is that. So it's scary. But here's
Yeah.
another one. Live F1 fan is mentioning TikTok. There's a lot of people that make money in TikTok, whether it be through affiliate and promoting
A
products.
lot of people. Yeah.
And he's now saying, will it be difficult to have success in TikTok now that 50% will be owned by Americans? Maybe an algorithm tweak. I don't think so. TikTok's TikTok. Whether it's owned by an American or whatever,
Yeah.
all of these algorithms are based on watch time and engagement. And I can't really see that changing. But the reason
Yeah,
that I
I
think,
kind of doubt that it would change either. Plus, the story is yet to be completed with TikTok, so I'm not sure where that's going to end up
but
altogether.
rumor has it that I mean, there's so many people that make money from TikTok. Small businesses,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
kids, whatever. It would be criminal just to switch that off. It's going to impact
mm,
so many people.
yeah,
It would be the
yeah,
height of stupidity to have kept that off.
yeah.
But was it a big PR stunt so that Big Donald looks like the great guy that saved the world and all that stuff? Why was it only switched off for 12 hours? Is his name, which has been plastered all over the social media, oh, Trump's brought it
I
back.
know.
Was it a
Yeah,
game? These are things as well where you're like,
Trump
whoa.
saved Trump saved TikTok.
So I'm not saying it was anything like that. these are things that you're seeing in your feed. But the amount of creators, businesses, and everything else that are out there who are making money from TikTok, it would be an absolute travesty for them just to have went bang, shut
I
down.
think I'd seen a number in one of those stories in regards to this particular, something like 7 or 8 million businesses, that are selling, just in the US, that are making money on TikTok. Businesses, not individual users. I mean, that is crazy. That's a lot of revenue rolling through there.
There's guys on
I
there.
knew something was gonna happen with it, but
Yeah. But there's guys on there, like locally to me, real estate guys. There's,
right,
plumbers, builders, roofers. They're demonstrating their work. This is again other ways to make money online. Is
Yep.
traffic makes money. If you can get a service to funnel those people into, whether it be a plumber, whether it be I don't know, pencil, spoon, whatever. There's always going to be someone wanting something. So again, TikTok's another one that certain businesses have made a fair chunk of money from. So, and I also read there was a guy on TikTok, one of the big American influencers. I can't remember his name, but TikTok had paid that guy 20 million last year through obviously his share of views and
Wow.
everything else. He's one of the biggest guys on TikTok in America. But yeah, they paid him 20 million last year, and you're like, fuck, you could basically wipe that guy out overnight. So,
Wow.
it's madness. But the Chinese don't want to give away the algorithm. So I assume it will be changed at some point. Who knows, mate? Who knows? But Rabbi,
Robbie,
how you doing?
oh man.
But yeah,
Hello,
I'm not
Robbie.
sure. No one's going to give anything away.
No. Nobody's
Like
giving
that,
anything away.
I think it'll be fine, man. I wouldn't worry too
Yeah.
much about it.
So another way you can make money online, monetize all of this stuff, you could do like what Robbie is doing. Robbie's like gone out, created several different SaaS, online programs. He's got the Blog Storm. He's got a bunch of different ones actually. The guy's very creative. And then go out, build your SaaS, and then sell subscriptions to it. So obviously, a little more complicated and aspects you got to do with it, but I don't know, maybe Robbie probably doesn't think it's all that complicated, but certainly it's a way
for someone with those skills, like a developer or whatever Rabbi would maybe call himself. I mean, the things that you guys could pull together to make money online, and I'm not talking about Rabbi because he's clearly doing it, but anyone else to make money online, if you've got those skills, it's the product or that you're taking to market. Is there demand for what it is? And clearly Rabbi's seen different things that people want, from a SaaS perspective, and used his skills to that advantage to make money online, which I think is great for me because I love tools and things to do my parts of my job for me. So yeah, guys like Rabbi who are actually far cleverer than most of us, with their technical abilities, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's
I think so.
sell done for you offers is you could do that.
Always. I think, I saw that comment flash up, and I think probably if I were starting out and I was thinking like, hey, what do I would think about selling a service, like a done for you service on building AI agents and building out where if you knew that and could build those things out quickly enough and so that they were really top notch, man, I think you could sell those online as a done for you service and probably do really well.
I've got that service coming in about 3 weeks. And,
seriously.
Yeah, and I've got the domain name aiagent.co.uk.
Oh wow.
So I'm not claiming to be the guy building it, but yeah, I've got my own AI agent being built just now.
Yeah.
And
I think that is you could do well, because I think everything that's been going on in AI has been great, doing content, but it's having the agents. The agents are the task. They execute the task.
yeah,
That's where automation will come in. Boom.
the agent is. So obviously just now you're relying on ChatGPT to pull all the information. But if you put all the data into a RAG system, that all the documentation, all the information, all of that about you, you're feeding that thing to give a much better output and a more accurate output. So in a nutshell, it is a fucking no-brainer. And some of the AI agents that we're seeing, at the moment are fucking insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a big thing. An AI agent can write my newsletter, it could do my social media, it could do this in the tone of voice that I've got, and as long as you're constantly feeding, the RAG system with up to date information, and potentially getting in and deleting old information that's no longer relevant, the output
Right.
on that would be solid. So
Yeah.
yeah, but do you think podcast guest booking service would sell, like influencers pay me to get featured on different podcasts? I've seen people do this, Dave,
Yeah.
and there
Yeah.
is services out there for it. However, they're spammy as shit.
I know.
I get about 10 of these a day going, oh, would you like this guest on and all that? And you're like, no, I've never heard of him, and I can't be bothered because I'm getting 10 of these a day. So I mean, I'm sure it'll work, absolutely, but it's how it's done is the way for me. I just feel like I'm getting bombarded with all of these shit guys that I've never heard of wanting on a podcast, and I ain't putting them on no matter what you say, because for me, and this is maybe just me, I want to pick my own podcast guests. I don't want someone to try and reach out and push someone onto me. If I want someone on, I will reach out to them. So I don't know if there would be a better service in going to someone like me who has a podcast, because the big pain in the ass for me is that I've got to then go into someone's DMs here, there, and everywhere. So rather than you just spamming blindly trying to get Randy on a podcast, what if Randy says to you, here's 10 guys I want in my podcast, go fucking make it happen. Go reach out,
Right.
find
Right.
out what's going to happen, because that's the part that I can't be bothered doing. So I don't know if I'd flip that in his
Right.
head,
Right.
Dave, because I don't know anyone that's doing that, but they're doing the mass spam thing all of the time. So I don't know
Yep.
if tweaking that would work for you, Dave. But
Yeah,
as I
I
say, that's
completely agree with you on that. Absolutely agree, because for all of the reasons on trying to push people onto me, because that just happens all the time. But just recently, I've been pitched to be like, "Hey, Randy, would you be a guest on some guys I've never heard of's podcast?" I'm like, "Huh." And so I'm kind of intrigued by this, but I think that would be the way, the person booking guests on like my podcast, because I agree. Sometimes that's just a pain to like go and like schedule and get people all set up to be on our podcast. But,
yeah.
I think that's an opportunity.
So yeah, and obviously, if you're doing that on a regular basis, you're going to build up lists and contacts and the right
Right,
people to
right,
go
right.
to, and things should become a hell of a lot easier after that. So absolutely, I think that would work, because that's my biggest bugbear. I know I want Dan Pena on my podcast, but the rigmarole of messaging him and then going through his PA and all this fucking shit and back and forth over times and all that,
Right,
it's
right, right.
a lot of work, man. And
Yeah,
if I
it
could
is a lot of
delegate
work. And coordinating, like, calendars and sending, and then you wanna be sure you're sending stuff out appropriately. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, I think the booking of the guests is an opportunity. Yeah,
yeah.
agreed.
Franklin is asking, is the niche site model dead? In my opinion, um, yeah, pretty much. I see it being, it depends what we're calling a niche site model, but the old niche content heavy websites that people were doing with Amazon is what I would call a niche site, then absolutely, most of those have died and never been recovered.
Yeah.
Informational content was not a thing. It was all sell, 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 sell. We know that Google has a lot of, they want informational on there. They want to serve the user with what they're asking for rather than be pitched, a product all the time. EAT came into play. So a lot of these niche sites didn't have any kind of expertise, authority,
Right.
and trust.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes against everything that Google reward just now, including even the engagement signals in a website. Because when you land on an Amazon affiliate website, for example, and you click on the button, you're straight back off it, and it's giving you the kind of bounce on there. But if Google are rewarding engagement on a website, all of that kind of stuff, then again, that whole model just doesn't work anymore. So for a number of reasons, but I got out of the kind of niche site model a whole bunch of years ago. I think it was the end of 2020. When Amazon were cutting their commissions and everything as well, I was just like, nah. So I get out early enough. Like e-com, all of these things, you can still make money, but I don't see that niche site model doing very well anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you
I don't
agree with
either.
that?
I mean, I think you've got to think about it in different terms if you think, but yeah, doing that, the niche site and then selling like through an affiliate link like to Amazon or something, that you just can't make enough money doing that, I don't think. That's why I'm telling you, I think the local home services, because you build out like a local site, get a GBP local, go rank that thing, and and then go sell those leads. Man, it just seems like you're not. Yeah, you probably could make crazy money by really going scale on the thing, but if you're wanting to like make a couple of $1,000 a month extra on just not really having to do a ton of work constantly, that's just a easy no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Um,
every little bit helps, right? Even the big money bags like you, every little bit.
diversifying, and if you get bits of money coming in everywhere, then if something does fail, or a website gets slammed with an update, it shouldn't impact
Right?
50% of your business or
Yeah,
something. So
yeah,
I think you always want to spread your risk. And I've said before in previous sessions, I've seen you going, "Oh, what's this? I'm going to fucking get involved." And you've tried different things. Some win, some don't.
yeah,
And again, all you're trying to do is use the money you're making to diversify slightly. And if there's an easier way, then so be it. And
mm,
sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and that again part of the journey. If you ask me, I've made a lot of money, I've lost a lot of money. As long as you're making more than you're doing
yeah.
over the long term,
As
and
long as you
then
can hold on to some of it.
if you keep losing and losing and losing, you've got to fucking give up. But yeah, it's like you with the kind of sites and all that kind of stuff. Did you bite off more than you can chew? Was it the wrong time because we didn't know what was coming up? There's all of these things that come into play. But at least you tried. No one can say you didn't
Yeah,
give it a bash. And hopefully, the next things
that's
that you
all.
go and invest money in, you do it better.
Yeah. And I kind of like the way somebody, and I can't remember who I could attribute this to, but um but I love it though, which was, there are no failures, only lessons.
Yeah.
So, you know what, if I did something and I invested $2,000 on it and it, failed, essence, yeah, I got to change my mindset and go like, I just spent $2,000 to learn something that didn't
Hmm.
work. So I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
And or learn, to do it differently or something. So, it's just like, it's not failures. They're just lessons, life lessons. So,
I
um,
have burnt so much money. If I was to calculate it up, my apprenticeship or all the stuff I've learned has cost me hundreds of thousands of pounds in
yeah,
failed things, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I'd do it all again. It's
yeah,
been fun. That's how I can tell fun stories now at conferences. Of all this shit, because I've been there, a first-hand experience of doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world, mate. I love making decisions, and sometimes it's not always good to just get everything your own way all of the time. It's good to have a bit of resistance and a bit of a problem and stuff like that. So it's good. But one last thing, do you think users on TikTok are botting? To me, it seems like botting only works for search, and that goes for any platform. And search-based views on all platforms, blah 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 blah. Search-based views on all platforms always have a low retention. I don't know if people are botting on TikTok. Would it make a difference on TikTok? I think TikTok are able to detect botted traffic, in retention time, and I don't think these algorithms are fooled by a lot of that stuff. You see it with YouTube, you see various other ones. You can, of course, go and buy that shit and inflate it, but eventually the figures get taken away by the platform itself. So I'm sure people do it, but I don't know if it's worthwhile doing, in all honesty.
I have no idea. I don't do anything. I don't even have a TikTok account, so.
Jesus, Randy, you're missing out, mate. Missing out my fat ass dancing.
I know. I see those just because you pass them around. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But one final thing is, Liam G, do you guys think in the next year we will be trying to rank in GPT as search behavior is changing? And if so, any prediction on how we would even tackle this? So absolutely getting yourself into GPT. Where does GPT pick its information up from? You'd have to then go to Perplexity and look at the sources of where that information is being grabbed from, and then make sure that you get your information placed on there as well. So something I've tried and tested, I've spoken about it in my mastermind. It's working for now, but GPT is pulling stuff from third-party websites. So traditionally, we were always pumping our own websites full of content. Is the goal moving forward pumping other people's websites full of your content? Is that the play? High authority websites, whether it be press, whatever, is that how you optimize? And that is something that we don't know exactly if that's going to change or whatever. But look at Perplexity just now. Look at the sources. It's there. It will tell you where that information is coming from, and whether that be LinkedIn or Business Insider or a combination of different things. Is it citations? Do they need to see this information on multiple websites?
Right.
That I couldn't tell you. All I've done is try a lot of stuff and been goofing around the same as everyone else. But that's kind of how I see it going, and it's definitely third-party websites. And my advice to other people would be, if I see Randy appearing on ChatGPT for a search term that I want, and I see he's on here, here, and here, I'm going to figure out how this bastard done that, and I'm going to go and copy, and I'm going to be in the same places as him. That is going to be the name of the game. And as I say,
it is interesting. This is why, so all back to this, kind of coming full circle, back to the thing about how you make money on online. Local businesses or local services is not getting kicked around the block like all of these other, niche sites and all of this other content-driven sites. Local services. If you go into ChatGPT and use chat as in the search mode, and then you go search for like plumber near me or something like that, boom, you're going to get local search. And you'll get multiple. I just did this with a client last week. I was shocked how it'll link the brand name with your Google map, and then also give you a link on chat. So this is just doing chat search, and then also a link to your homepage or whatever the page is that, for like if I wanted a roofer in Cleveland, boom. And if I had a location page, I might be able to rank in that. So, and it was, that at that point, it was all driven around Google Map ranking. But yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. I think that's a whole that will be very interesting, where some of these generative search results and how that will get resolved. I mean, I've seen some different stuff that you've done well in placing, but you're right, it's using some third-party sites.
That's what it is for now, but is that going to change? Is that just how they're kicking it off? Is that that's the thing? You've just got to keep trying and testing, because I see it and I'm like, I need to reverse engineer this. How is that guy? Why is he there and I'm not, or whatever? And then, I think you've always just got to think like that. How do I get me on there? And where there's a will, there's always a way. So you just got to keep trying, man.
Fair enough. Absolutely.
On that note, guys, we are out of time, but hopefully there's some food for thought there, some value and whatever. But we will be back at the same time next week with a completely different topic. If you've got any suggestions and you're watching this on a recording, put the suggestions in the comments, and we will always be open to talking about different things relating to digital marketing, but it doesn't even have to be SEO. So do that in the comments, and also make sure you go and check Randy. The link is in the comments for his digital PR services. And make sure you do give us a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. But
there you go.
Thank you very much, everyone, and yourself, Randy.
Always fun.
Next week.